What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are doing the lap down challenge. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time is doing just challenge videos and just trying to change up the content and just do some more fun stuff. So we're going to kick that off today by doing that. And for those of you who were, a little bit disappointed that the career mode ended temporarily, you guys will probably enjoy this video because we're actually continuing on from career mode. This is the Mexican Grand Prix. I ended the career mode with these sort of challenge ideas in mind, so if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, let me know what challenges I can do. But today, we're going to be doing the Mexican Grand Prix, the race after we won the championship. We're going to be doing the unthinkable, seeing if we can, maybe even win the race after being one lap down. We'll need to hope for safety cars, maybe a bit of carnage, few retirements. We'll have to wait and see. My teammate Charles Leclerc is massively quick. And, we're going to have to hope for something pretty unfortunate to strike him in this race. So, we're going to be starting last place. We're going to get lapped. We need to recover and then overtake a whole bunch of cars in order to get points. Top 5, maybe possible if we're lucky, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's go to the race.
Formula One may have been absent from Mexico for 23 years, but after 2015's triumphant return, it was as if we'd never been away. In Mexico, a Grand Prix is more than just a race. It's a celebration of speed and of bravery. There's nothing quite like the atmosphere in the stadium today. They'll be drowning out the cars with their noise as they make their way through on lap 1. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now surely off, with the title already in the bag.
I agree it's been a truly impressive season, but championship or no, I don't think they'll be gently cruising around to the finish line. In fact, with points no longer a concern, there's a lot less to risk, so we may even see a more aggressive approach.
Okay, we've already won the championship, so relax and enjoy this race.
That is the exact approach I'm going to have into this one. We're going to be, quite carefree. We're going to be very aggressive, but in the same kind of token, pretty relaxed as well, because this is just a one-off challenge video. There is nothing on the line except for pride and just entertainment. So we're going to see if we can get this done. So it's going to be tough, the Mexican Grand Prix. From what I remember, this is actually a pretty competitive track for the player, so we should have a pace advantage, hopefully, but I am pretty rusty and I haven't really done all too much practice on the build-up to this challenge. 5 red lights, and away we don't go for the lap down challenge. Off we go for the front runners, and looks like they're all going to be blazing into turn 1. My teammate not even getting pole there, so that is pretty disgusting from him there. I simulated the final 2 parts of qualifying, so that makes sense as to why he's nowhere into turn 1. It's Raikkonen, my teammate, and I think Daniel Ricciardo side by side into the first complex of this lap, and somehow Charles Leclerc comes out from like P5 or wherever the hell he was into the lead of the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, back there for us, we have no idea what's going on. I was just twiddling my thumbs thinking about what I was going to have for dinner tonight as I wait for everyone to come around. So it's a pretty cruisy start to the Grand Prix for me. My tyres are actually going to be pretty cold by the time these guys come around to start the second lap, so that might be a little bit interesting, but I need to minimize the amount of time that I lose in this exchange here of getting a lap down. So I'm going to let them catch up. I need to make sure that I actually get lapped, and then I need to make sure that I can actually re-overtake my teammate and get the progress going again, if that makes sense. I can't afford to just fall back through the field and continue to surrender to blue flags to other cars behind me, and I also need to make sure that I don't get penalties for ignoring blue flags. So I need to make sure that I had the pace to pull away from the cars behind. So a lot of things I have to manage. We're now a lap down. Let's see if we can unlap ourselves on our teammate. It's a big dive into the middle sector, and that is, it's not good enough. That is not good enough. We squeeze out Raikkonen as well, but what can I say? This is maybe the Esteban Ocon challenge. See if you can take out the race leader as many times as you can. I don't know. But you can see just visually how much we're pulling away from Raikkonen through that middle sector. That is a corner cut warning already from me there. But as we fast forward, as the stint wears on, you can see that we'll probably get a little bit stronger. We're on the ultra soft tyres as opposed to everyone inside the top 10 on the hypers. So we do have that for us. The first stint for these guys is going to be very short. Their tyres not going to be good for very long, and we'll be able to strike. So that was kind of the strategy I was playing into. We could have gone for a dive into turn 1 there, but I thought better of it. I don't want to... Yeah, the thing is, I don't want to battle too much with my teammate, because then Raikkonen will catch up, I'll get warnings for blue flags, and I might get a penalty. So that is something I need to be very wary of. I need to get past this guy cleanly and efficiently, up the inside, into the corner. We stuffed up last time. This time, we have a much better run through there. Much better understanding of where the grip was, and we get the move done. So now we are now... What's that, Ben? We are now on the lead lap. Thankfully, it's taken us a few laps to do so, but now start to make progress on the guys at the back end of the midfield. So we'll see what we can do now. Everyone, like I said, is going to be pitting quite early for a new set of tyres, whether it be super softs or maybe even ultras like I'm running. But the guys who I'm really competing with are all going to be on harder compounded tyres like me, so they all might be doing one stops, and it actually may be a little bit more difficult to catch up to those guys based on strategy, whereas we know the front runners are all doing 2 stops, and so it could condense the field quite massively. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. We're already 10 laps into this Grand Prix. Charles has taken his hype as 10 laps, so that is a little bit worrying. But hopefully he's still on a 2-stop strategy, and that might slow him up in the Grand Prix enough to the point where it'll allow us to catch up. For us, we're doing a 1-stop. We're going from the ultras to the super soft tyres, and we're going to hope like hell that maybe even some of the back markers have to do 2 stops at least as well, and that'll give us a free kick of like 20 seconds for the extra pit stop. So yeah, we'll wait and see how it goes. But we have a virtual safety car here on lap 15. We have Fernando Alonso out of the Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton is out as well. So Hamilton was one guy who I certainly didn't think I'd be able to beat in this Grand Prix, even though he was down the order a little bit with the engine penalty. So that is potentially one extra free position for us that we don't have to worry about. But in saying that, we still need to catch up to the back markers, to the Haases, to the Williams, Toro Rossos, McLaren. They're all pretty slow in this career mode, and you know, even though we have a ridiculously OP car, it's going to be awfully tough to catch up to those guys, because you need to think back to like my career modes. I don't really lap people all too often unless I'm having an amazing race or there's crashes or other incidents. So far it looks like it's been a pretty clean Grand Prix for the majority of the field, so I really just have to do this on pace alone if a safety car doesn't come out. So it's going to be a big old slog, but if we keep up the pace, we keep up the consistency, and the strategy comes in well for us, we might just about be able to catch up some of the back markers towards the end of the Grand Prix. That's how tough this is. I actually did a practice race at Monaco in Grand Prix mode, and my tyres were overheating on the super soft tyres. Didn't work for me. I was like 2 seconds slower than my optimal after the first few laps, and I never ended up catching up, so I had to completely bin that video altogether. That's why there was no upload yesterday. So we're trying this in career mode, which is probably the more logical thing to do anyway. But yeah, we're getting towards the end of this Grand Prix now. 11 laps to go. We're actually caught up to a few people who made their final stop, so we did have the pace in hand in the end to actually overtake them after they made a pit stop. So that's a little bit better than what I was hoping for. But now they're going to be on the faster tyre, fresher tyres. They may be able to chase us up, but we have a huge pace advantage naturally with our car anyway, so they may not be able to catch up, but we're going to see if we can move forward if we can and get inside the points. So coming into this video, I would have loved to have scored points. A top 5 would be a dream result, but maybe a safety car would have had to have been the result there to be in with a chance of getting that high up the grid. But we're going to keep pushing if we can. Next up is Brendan Hartley in the Toro Rosso. So that car is pretty dang slow, even with newer tyres. They don't really stand too much of a chance against us. He goes defensive into the stadium section. We're going to go up the inside anyway, and for that you're going to get squeezed out. That's what you get when you go defensive. You lose a lot more time than if you would have stayed on the racing line there, pal. But it's P13. There are 7 laps to go. The next group of cars...
Some information on Gasly. They seem to have an issue.
Interesting. The next group of cars are going to be held up by Pierre Gasly, who now has a problem. So let's have a look on the replay here. Doesn't look like he's got front wing damage. There is no tyre issues there for him, so it must be mechanical. It didn't look like he was driving overly slow anyway, so not too sure what the problem is there. But he's really bottlenecked these guys here into this middle sector of the lap, and now we're going to see if we can take advantage. A really nice run out of the S's. They all go to the inside, and we're going to see if we can go around the outside of 3 cars into the stadium section. We just about do it, you know, and that is P10 inside the points, but it's an illegal overtake.
That move was illegal. Return the position.
On Van Dorn, so that is great. I had a bit of a screen freeze in the protest as well, so we clatter into the side of Van Dorn. We'll let him go back through momentarily before we're getting him up the inside into the final corner, and that is us inside the top 10 with only 2 laps to go in this Mexican Grand Prix. The lap down challenge has gone absolutely swimmingly for us, and all those guys with their DRS open, there's no chance. There's no chance that they're going to overtake me in a straight line, so I was being a bit cheeky there. Contact between, I think it was Grosjean and Gasly there. I think that's Van Dorn trying to make something stick of that for the first sector, but there we go, that's our race. We're not going to catch Ocon, he's 17 seconds up the road, so there's quite a big difference. That's a massive lag spike on my PC, by the way, and that was my final warning of the race, and that is a penalty. Charles Leclerc wins the Grand Prix, so GG's to him there. He led from the front and had a pretty massive margin to the cars behind in the first stint. I definitely helped that by holding up Raikkonen and the cars behind, but yeah, very dominant display. But for us, we did so darn well to come back from a lap down, overtake so many cars without the interference of a safety car. The virtual safety car could have helped us if we got a pit stop out of that, but that wasn't the case. We had to do this all on our own based on pace, and we come back and score 1 singular point. Thank you very much.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Mr. Monaco increases their championship lead. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco.
Thank you very much, Ant. I really appreciate that. He knows talent when he sees it. Mr. Monaco. Should call him Mr. Mexico after this one. But guys, that's been this video for today. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 2018 content. If you guys remember like all the challenge videos I've done on my channel over the years, I think I'm going to be revisiting just about all of those and see if I can do a new spin or a new take on them. And I've got a few ideas for new challenges that I can do as well, which I've been saving in the bank for a very, very long time. So look forward to those. If there are any that I can do in this career mode, game mode, feel free to let me know. I still got my cold. It's really annoying. I've had this for like almost 2 weeks now, but I feel like I'm almost going to see the back of it now. Hopefully by the time you see the next video, I'll be sounding 100% fine. But that's it from me today. For some reason I'm doing upgrades because who knows, I might do more challenges with this career mode save in the future. But hopefully you enjoyed. Until the next one, I'll see you next time.
What on earth was that performance? Come on, this isn't bumper cars at the fairground. Your results and conduct here matter, so pay more attention. We can't afford too many races like that.
He's really sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, fucking hell, you two shit yourselves.